This is News 24 Live. I'm Erin Bates, and in studio with me today is Lawson Naidoo for the Council for the Advancement of the South African Constitution. We're talking about the SONA debate and what now in terms of South African government for 2016. Lawson, just to start off with, let's look to President Jacob Zuma's response to the debate earlier in this week. Would you say that it was overall a victory in terms of the message that he gave?
Well, I think it was a very businesslike response. In both senses of the word. It was to the point, and it dealt with the economic concerns that had been raised during the course of the debate, and economic concerns that have been raised broadly within the country. And I think it's again an indication that it was very much Treasury speak in the speech. So the influence of Treasury in the messaging that is coming from government is being seen to be dominant at this point in time.
Does that speak to who Zuma was addressing? If you look at someone like Julius Malema in his SONA debate sort of speech, oration, he didn't really deal with the nuts and bolts of Zuma's speech this year. He really sort of gave him the finger and then walked out. He was not necessarily speaking to the council in the Houses of Parliament. Do you think Zuma was speaking to the council and business more than to the people?
I think he was doing everything. He was speaking to the members of Parliament. He addressed some of the concerns that have been raised by opposition members, not all, very pointedly, and he addressed the concerns that the business community have been raising with government, which are concerns that I think that the vast majority of South Africans also face. So it was a speech that was aimed at trying to deal with the real issues rather than playing at politics and chiding the opposition. It sought to engage with the issues. It was obviously light on detail. It raised various touch points without going into the details. So one must very much see that speech as a precursor to next week's budget speech.
Ranjani Munusamy from the Daily Maverick spoke about Zuma's speech being good at dousing the flames of fires in terms of worries about the economy, worries about South Africans' exchange rate, that sort of thing. Are you in agreement with her?
Well, I think it was a marked shift from President Zuma in terms of acknowledging that it's not just the global factors that have affected the South African economy, that there are factors within our own control that we need to deal with, and his acknowledgement that government has responsibility to deal with some of those issues is a step in the right direction, and we certainly hope that Minister Gordhan takes that forward.
Yeah. There was speak that his hand was quite strongly in the SONA address itself.
Certainly, the messaging of Treasury was both evident in the SONA address as well as in the President's response yesterday. And I think it is about trying to send out a clear message to both South Africans and to the international community and investment community that we're aware of the risks that we face. We're tackling those issues to the best of our ability, and that we're serious about tackling those things. But it's obviously the promises that have been made, we've got to see the implementation, and we've got to see the fact that we are really able to cut costs, that we're really able to rejig the budget away from wasteful expenditure towards expenditure that can help to kickstart the economy once again.